This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 308 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show, American Shetland Pony Congress. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are Kentucky Performance Products. You can find them at kppusa.com, Riding Warehouse, and EasySignsOnline.com.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They'll bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for the Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
I'm Glenn the Geek.
And I'm Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Well, howdy, Helena.
Howdy, Glenn.
Are you back in the studio today, not driving?
I'm not driving. No, my adventures are, for right now, they're in my backyard.
They're homeward bound. That's
Homeward
okay,
bound.
because your backyard has an ocean in it.
My backyard has a horse and an ocean in it.
That's true. Yeah, you got to. And you know what? I saw the picture on your Facebook page, your head picture there, and of your farm, and it's so pretty. It's so New England. You couldn't get a more New England farm than yours.
Oh, my cover photo. I know. And that was the spring. I have to do a summer version.
Yeah,
because
it's
things
just
change.
beautiful. It's just so New England.
Yeah. It's so New England. You know what we do in New England? We mow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
We mow a lot.
We've been having about, I think in the last 5 days we've had about 12 inches of rain. It's been pouring every day. So, yeah, we're mowing a lot, too.
Did you get any effects from Hurricane Arthur?
No, we didn't, but we had some wicked thunderstorms last week. And I mentioned this on the morning show. The Pony and Beaker are out in side-by-side fields and, probably half an acre paddocks. And there's big live oak trees everywhere here. Well, we had a really nasty thunderstorm last week. We get them every day, but this was severe. Yeah. And winds got heavy, and lightning was hitting all around us. And we heard this crack of lightning that had everybody jump. I jumped, Jennifer jumped, the dog just about had a heart attack. And, after we went out to investigate, and lightning had hit the live oak tree in the field where we usually have the ponies.
Oh, God.
And had sent these sharp splinters of bark about 100 feet in every direction. It hit one of the trunks of the tree and just peeled and blew the bark away, made them into little javelins. Some of them were sticking straight up in the ground. And it actually, you could follow the track of the lightning down, and it blew some of the branches off. One of the branches would have killed the pony if it had hit the pony.
Oh,
I could
God.
barely lifted it. But we followed it down, and where it went down the trunk and hit the ground, there was charcoal. It was actual. I said, Jennifer,
holy crap!
I said, smell this, and I don't know what turned into charcoal. Pieces of the bark or whatever. But I said we picked a handful of it up, and it smelled exactly like charcoal, and it was all burnt like that. But that day, we had the ponies out in a different paddock. And thank God, because if he usually stands under that tree, and if that branch or one of those, those shards and little javelins of bark had hit him, he'd been dead.
Do you remember that episode that we did about the horse who was discovered with the
Arab?
Tree branch in his chest?
Yes.
I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
I bet you something like that happened.
Yes, it was probably something like that. It was a storm sunk. Yeah, that one though, he had a whole tree branch went all the way through his body.
I know,
and he lived.
He did live. Yeah, we'll find out which episode that was and remind you of it, because it was quite an inspiring story. But thinking about when you said that the lightning blew those pieces away like little javelins.
It was incredible. We really found pieces of bark, and this was green bark, not dead. It was green. We found it about 100 feet away in all directions. Just amazing. So thank goodness that things worked out the way they did that day. But,
no kidding.
Hey, we have a busy show planned for you today. Our first guest coming up here in a minute is Bob Sansevier, and he is he is one of the top trainers in the world of Shetland ponies and miniature ponies, and we're going to be speaking to him live from the American Shetland Pony Congress, where cuteness abounds.
Oh my God, cuteness abounds. It's
Yes.
going to be like we're going to be slathered in it.
We're going to talk to him in just a minute. And then also we have Debbie Metcalf from Net Posse on with a success story that we don't always get those with stolen horses. So this is going to be a good one to talk to her about. And then we have somebody helping us with Tack and Habit today, and that's Bree from Riding Warehouse is coming on to talk about a product that Helene and I had never heard of. So we're going to be all learning something today. But first, right after this, Kentucky Performance Products Nutritional Minute, we are coming up with Bob Sansevier, and he is out of Minneapolis, and get this, he has a farm there. He has 73 acres, and it's all ponies and minis. He's won many national championships, 83 national championships, and 84 reserve national championships. Right after this word from KPP. This Nutrition Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, the company that simplifies your search for research-proven nutritional supplements at kppusa.com.
Have you heard of a yeast called Saccharomyces boulardii? It's a type of probiotic that benefits your horse's digestive tract. Often referred to as S. boulardii, it works in several different ways. One unique property of S. boulardii is that it supports the stimulation of the enzymes found in the intestinal lining. These enzymes help your horse digest starches and sugars in the small intestine. When the sugars and starches are more completely digested, fewer of them escape into the hindgut, where they can ferment and cause imbalances that may lead to colic, diarrhea, and laminitis. Saccharomyces boulardii is found in Nalox Advanced, made by Kentucky Performance Products. Nalox Advanced contains a blend of yeast, fermentation solubles, and stomach buffers. These ingredients work together to maintain your horse's digestive tract in peak condition. Nalox Advanced is recommended for horses of all ages and stages and is fed on a daily basis.
This Nutritional Minute has been brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. You can find all of their terrific products at kppusa.com. Hi, Bob. Welcome to the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I'm actually involved in two shows now, yours and the Shetland Congress.
I know. We're so excited to have you live from the Shetland Pony Congress. It's in Iowa this year, right?
Yep, it's in Des Moines. It's the second year, and 2 of the last 3 years it's been at Des Moines. And quite frankly, it's a terrific facility. And we show minis and ponies. I wish that Mini Nationals was moved to Des Moines too, because the facility itself is just terrific. And we're lucky because I've got 5 kids who can be noisy, so they put us at the far end of the sheep barn. But you would never know it's a sheep barn because they have great stalls. And we have no one across from us. As a matter of fact, we got about 40 feet before the barn ends, and we're all spread out. It's wonderful.
Well,
so we
do you think
having loud kids, it did good.
Well, wait a minute, Bob. Do you think they're trying to tell you something about your children?
They are, which is good. I've told them to keep the noise up.
Yeah.
Next year, too.
Hey, nothing we don't already know. They're loud and
Yeah.
naughty. What else is new?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And they range in age from, I've got it. Well, my daughter just turned 19, 16, 12, 8, and 5. And I had a guy call me this morning, and my kids do barrel racing too, and they do big horses, but they had a rodeo where they had mutton busting. And a guy called me and he goes, "Yeah, well, those your grandchildren?" And I saw mutton busting, and I corrected him and said, "I don't have grandchildren. I just have children." Because no one expects me to have a 19-year-old kid and a 5-year-old, but I do. And they are from the same dam and sire, I want to add. But people often wonder if it's a blended family, and no, it's the same parents.
Clearly very happy parents.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, thrilled. So let me say that I'm thrilled.
Well, you must be thrilled. You're spending a lot of your free time around Shetland ponies. You're at Congress. How did that happen?
Well, actually, my kids keep asking me, when are we going to Disney World? Well, all of my vacation time goes to horse shows. This weekend I'm off. I do a morning show and an afternoon show in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I'm on vacation from both shows this week. And I also write a column for a newspaper too. I'm still doing that from here, but our vacations are spent at horse shows. It's Shetland Congress now for a week, and then in September it's mini nationals in Tulsa. And I've come to really like Shetland Congress. Frankly, I like it more because it's a week. You get in and you get out, and it's a lot of fun. I like the pace of it, and there is no doubt that the best Shetland ponies in the country, well, frankly, in the world, are showing here. And I love watching driving because that's what we do. And I really like seeing, how the animation and the movement of particularly these moderns.
Well, now tell us tell us a little bit about that. At Pony Congress, you have all different classes. Yesterday, by the way, you can watch live. Just search for American Shetland Pony Congress and Ustream. And Ustream is carrying it live. I was watching yesterday. They had some in-hand classes, which, by the way, Bob, after one in-hand class of any breed, I'm done and on to the next thing. So, but
you last longer than me. And no offense to that, because there's some beautiful horses.
There are, yeah.
My wife does some of it. I actually, the only classes I do anymore, I jump. Even if, I've got combined, my legs are over 100 years old. But I jump and I do roadster, and that's it. I don't like wearing it in the jacket and tie, so I just jump and ride. We're fortunate to have really good jumpers and really good roadster horses. So we've done very well between Congress and nationals. I think we have 8 national champions in jumper. My son won youth jumper. They had the same course for youth, amateur, and adult. He had the fastest time by almost 3 seconds. It's those young legs that do it. And then the roadster classes, we've done very well in mini nationals and here. We've got the defending national grand champion in both foundation roadster and classic over roadster. So we're thrilled about that. And they haven't shown yet. They show tonight.
So there's a little bit of everything that goes on there at Shetland Pony Congress. All different kinds of classes.
Well, the moderns are fun. We have a modern roadster horse that she was a national grand champion as a mini. She's in the under division, and she'll be doing modern this year for the first time. And she's got great animation. But the moderns are fun. They have the ASPR horses, which are, you see hackneys that are, that are also double registered as ASPR or have hackney blood in them. And you've got the classics and then foundation, which is the smaller ones, but that's they've got some animation too. There's a lot of, if you like seeing horses that can move and just look very elegant, the Shetland Congress is the place to be.
Now, when you say modern, what do you mean by modern?
Well, they're called modern Shetlands, and I would say they're if you've ever seen, you've certainly, because I think we've talked off the air, you have a hackney. They have the closest thing to the hackney and Morgan movement that you would see in driving. Okay. Very animated, they break low, and some of those horses are almost hitting their chin, and that would be the modern Shetland. The classic Shetlands aren't supposed to break level. So they're not supposed to be going above level. And there's a different look to them, too. The moderns are more extreme, look a little bit closer to what a hackney would look like. And the classics look like, they're ponies. They're what people think of it when they think of a pony.
They're more the Thelwell pony types. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of animation there, too.
So how do you prepare how do you prepare these ponies for the type of showing that they do? There's a lot of in-hand work, obviously, but how do they adapt to the show environment? Is it just like any other horse, or is there something different because because so much of it is in hand?
Well, see, with our horse, we have several of our horses are veteran horses who've been driving for years. We have one horse. As an example, we will drive 5 horses here. 4 of the horses, we could put their harness on, put them in the cart, not even warm them up, go in the class, and they're good enough to win. We have another one that I would describe as a high-functioning autistic. He needs to be ground-driven. He needs to be lunge, then ground-driven. Then he'll bounce around in the cart. Once he goes through the gate, it's like he understands and he laser focuses. And he was a national grand champion in foundation roadster, but getting him through the gate is the issue. Last year, he flipped in his cart just before the class. I had to run and borrow his zip tie because he wound up breaking a piece of his harness. My wife said, well, maybe I shouldn't take him. I said, look, just take him in. He winds up winning the class because, again, that was what he understands. We can get him into the ring. But he wears me out. That's the only thing I'm not looking forward to is getting him to the point where he gets in the ring. Once in, as I said, no problem, but getting him in. Where the other ones, they just stand there, and when they're ready to go, they turn it on. It's a switch. His switch is always on.
We've all owned that horse, by the way.
Well, if you'd like to own another one, let me know. I keep telling my wife, why do we have this? Because she feels he's special needs and he needs to have special attention. We did foster care for many years, and I think maybe she's drawn to kids who and animals that have, just who need a little extra attention.
Yeah, but she's not driving him in the ring, is she?
No, she actually is.
Oh, she? Oh,
but
wow.
I'm the one that has to make sure he doesn't bounce away from her.
Okay.
And just the stress of, I would like to just get what I would like is a phone call from someone to say, okay, he's in the ring, and then I can come and watch. But I have to be there through all the preliminary stuff. And as an example, tonight we have a horse in the class just before that, and I'm not worried about him at all, but I have to not show much attention to him just to keep the other one going.
I have to tell everybody, if you haven't, people think about driving and everything, and it looks kind of, depending on what kind of driving you watch, I'm a driver also, depending on what kind of driving you watch, it looks kind of docile and, laid back. I bought my first Hackney at an auction and didn't realize that it was the Ohio State Champ Roadster Hackney. And I had no idea, and I didn't compete or anything. I just drove for fun. So, but let me tell you, it is a rush when you take a little horse like that, a little pony like that, out and drive them. It is an absolute. It's like driving a Ferrari because you feel like you're on the edge of losing control. You're always just on the edge of not sure whether I was going to end up in a ditch. But boy, was it fun.
Well, there's nothing like it, and that's why, I've driven minis too. We have several of our horses here are double registered as minis, and, but we're fortunate because they measure close to 42 inches as a pony, but they're under 38 as a mini because they have high withers. And as minis, they measure to the last hair of the mane, which is the only breed that does that. That I know of. Yeah, but here it's to the withers, and as an example, our 41-inch classic Shetland measures under like 37.5 as a mini because again he's got high withers. People see him in the ring and think, my God, how could that horse be a mini? Well, he is because of of where his mane ends. He just happens to have a long mane and high withers, which is much to our benefit. But right. There's nothing like. I'll drive tonight. I'll drive him in classic roadster under, which is 42 inches and under to the withers, and then there's a 42 to 46. I've got a horse that's 45.5 inches, and he's the defending grand champion. I'll drive him tonight also in the over division of classic roadster, and he's a horse that is he's just a lot of fun to drive because my son will drive him earlier in my 12-year-old in youth pleasure because you can do 2 classics, you can do roadster and another driving discipline. In moderns and modern pleasure, you can only pick one. You can't do more than one driving class or type of class. You can put them in like a modern pleasure driving class and do them in stakes and do them in amateur and youth, but you can't do modern pleasure driving and modern roadster. They're very specific. Pony people, they're very, I think it goes back generations. They're very protective of the horse because they don't want to get them worn out. Where to me, a horse, I keep thinking back to the Pony Express days. Horses, not that you want to wear them out like that, but they can handle a little bit of work.
Yeah, I'm always afraid about breaking mine because he's, 12 and a half hands.
Well, that
It's so
actually
fragile.
that begs a really good question is, these ponies are, how do you keep them fit and what do you keep them fit for? I mean, in my experience, ponies are pretty easy keepers. I mean, they can get fat on like weeds and air. So how do you keep them healthy and strong enough to do their jobs?
5 children. That's
Well, yeah,
Well,
that's my
that-
question
my-
is what do you
my wife
feed them
takes
and
care
how
of
do you
them.
keep them busy?
Well, obviously they get pretty much free choice hay. They get good quality hay, a mix of grass and alfalfa, and she gives them supplements, and also there's like a senior equine that she gives them that's got a little more. It's got a little bit more protein in it. They're all in really good shape, and what she does a lot. It's not uncommon, and people like to come and just watch. We have an indoor arena. She sets up a jump that works out to be about 15 feet wide, and there could be 20 of them in there, and they just run and jump over the jump, and she runs them for 15 to 20 minutes or so, every day, and they love it because it's horses that won't jump in hand, they follow the other ones and go flying over the jump, and that's actually. Jumping is good for them because it stretches everything out and it helps keep them fit, especially around their what I would call their stomach muscles because of the way they do it. It's good to do part of the exercise that she does. And we try to drive them as much as we can. This year it's been tough. I don't know about where you live, but we've had a lot of rain.
Yeah,
and
you had a bad winter and then
arena,
lots of rain. It was like both.
Well, but it's more fun. It's more fun to do it outside, and it's just been so wet and muddy. We have a 250 by 350 outdoor arena, but with some of the rain we had, washed out. We had to move the sand around, so it's been a chore to get it out, to do things outside. And we have some fields. We have a 74-acre farm in Buffalo, Minnesota, and we've got almost a mile track around 2 of the hay fields, so that helps too to work them, in that. So the horses that we show, they all get worked, but the horses we show get worked more, and they're all really in good shape. So we're fortunate with that. What you said before is true. If you don't watch it, they could get get sick, and it's happened. It has happened. This year we got fortunate that my wife got on top of it a lot sooner than she has in the past because some of them all they'll do is eat and steal from other horses.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have to run here. We'd love to have you back sometime to talk a little bit longer about minis and ponies. Good luck this week, and we'll be watching on Ustream. As I said, you can just go to ustream.tv and look for the American Shetland Pony Congress. They're doing the whole thing on there. So if you want to be overdosed in cuteness, head over to Ustream and take a look. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, thanks for taking the time. It's a great show. People should check it out. Thank you.
Well, now we go from ponies to a very happy story coming up. We're sticking with cuteness and happiness today, and we're gonna get to that.
Hey, we try.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna get to that right after we hear from one of our brand new sponsors here at the Horse Radio Network, our first official corporate network sponsor, and that's Easy Signs Online. Hi, Glenn here, and we are very excited to welcome our first network-wide corporate sponsor, and that's EasySignsOnline.com. I have the founder of that company with me, Wayne. Hello, Wayne.
Hello, Glenn.
Welcome to the network. We're very excited to have you as our official sign company for the Horse Radio Network. And I know Easy Signs Online has been around for a long time and is one of the leading manufacturers of farm signs in the country.
Well, thank you. It's good to be aboard, and we look forward to creating some great farm signs for your customers as well.
Well, I know that you started how long ago, Easy Signs Online?
It's been about 14, 15 years now.
And you started with farm signs.
I started with exclusively horse farm signs and have since branched into business signs, farm signs, retail signs of any kind.
Churches, all kinds of
churches,
things.
a lot of churches we do.
Housing developments.
You name it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now you offer a wide variety of signs, and one of the reasons that we're excited that we're going to be dealing with you. You offer all different price points, no matter what size farm, whether you have a small personal farm with 2 horses in the backyard or a large farm with 100 horses and you're a breeding farm or a training farm. It doesn't matter. You have a sign to fit all of those budgets.
Correct. We have small signs and large signs to fit just about any farm budget out there, yes.
And now you have also, I know, you work with them to create custom signs with their logos, and your artists are very experienced at doing that.
Just about everything we do, even the day-to-day run-of-the-mill signs are custom to some extent. But yes, we can get very elaborate and very detailed with the custom work that we can do. So no 2 signs are alike.
Now, you've done a number of signs for our hosts, including Jamie of the Horses in the Morning show, Flyover Farm, and she has it out front of her house. And that was a custom sign, that was unique. She wanted a jumping horse and a jet fighter, and they put together a really neat sign for that, your artists.
Yeah, that's just a quick example of what can be done. And in fact, that if anybody wants to see it, there's a picture of that on the home page in this rotating slideshow at the top. You can see a picture that she sent me after she mounted it in front of her farm.
Now, as far as price points, you have, as I said, you have anything from stall nameplates for what, $30, $40?
$39 they start, and they can go up from there. You can get very elaborate with very big carved text, gold leaf style signs. It's pretty unlimited as to what you can get on your sign.
But if I want one for out in front of my farm, what options do I have? I know there's a number of different styles and...
Well, for the horse farm signs, the most popular style we offer is what we call New England style signs. And our website features a very unique step-by-step process where you can go through one step at a time, choose your sign size, choose your sign style, and it keeps a good track of what you choose and all of the prices along the way, so you can see exactly what you're getting into.
And there's something else that makes these unique, and a lot of us that have been around a while are used to the farm signs that we first had that were wooden. We had wooden farm sign, big one, out in front of our tack shop when we had our tack shop in the 1990s. Now, it was made of wood and it was painted. It was very pretty for about 3 years, and then the weather started getting at it. It started flaking, and after about 5 years, it looked like a mess.
Right.
Will that happen with these?
No, we do not use any wood in any of our signs specifically for that reason. Wood is great. It was the signboard of choice many years ago, but with modern plastics, PVCs, aluminums, it eliminates that decay that you'll get with your typical painted wood sign.
And they aren't painted; they're vinyl, right?
These are, for the most part, they're going to be a high-performance vinyl that's applied to the smooth surface of the signboard, so there's no maintenance with this. There's nothing to warp, nothing to rot, split, peel, fade, whatever.
And so they last for years.
They last for many years, yes. As well as our popular line of New England-style signs, we also have a very extensive collection of economical outdoor signs, vinyl banners, stall nameplates. We can do vinyl graphics for vehicles, magnetic signs for your truck and trailer.
And I know you do a lot of magnetic signs for trucks and trailers for horse people for their farms.
Yes, just keep in mind
it doesn't stick to an aluminum trailer.
It doesn't stick to an aluminum trailer. That has come across the phone waves a few times. So.
Yeah, it will stick to your metal car, but not
yes.
to your aluminum trailer.
Most aluminum trailers, you'll have to get a vinyl decal, not a magnetic sign.
One of the things that I really like about the website and dealing with you guys over at EasySignsOnline.com is how easy you make it and how simple a process you make it, from getting my artwork to you and getting the sign designed and the approvals back. How long does that process take from the time I order till I have the sign at my farm?
Well, most of the sign products we offer, the first thing we're going to do after we get your order is have our graphics department sit down, lay out the design, and we will email you a full color sign proof. So you will get to see exactly what it looks like. Obviously, changes can be made to suit, but once we get your approval, typically these signs take about 2 weeks in production, unless you get one of the more elaborate carved style signs. Then they're 3 to 4 weeks in production. But overall, it's fairly fast turnaround.
And as a special offer for Horse Radio Network listeners, in addition to the free shipping that you get for most orders over $100, and that can save you a lot of money considering the size of some of the signs and the shipping costs involved, we have an offer that's going out to Horse Radio Network listeners that if you order a sign over $500, the business that orders that sign, whether it's a farm or breeding farm, a personal farm, whatever it is, you'll get a free promotional interview on one of the Horse Radio Network shows. And that's worth hundreds of dollars right there. So you can join us on the network. You can advertise your business. You can get the word out on the network in addition to your sign as a benefit of for listening to Horse Radio Network and for ordering your sign through EasySignsOnline.com. So free shipping, free promotion, free advertising, all for your business, just for ordering a sign from EasySignsOnline.com, the official sign maker of the Horse Radio Network. You can find it all at EasySignsOnline.com. And we're back, and we have with us an old friend of the Horse Radio Network. Her name is Debbie Metcalf of Stolen Horse International. You know her as the lady who runs netposse.com. And, of course, we've had her on many times before talking about stolen horses and horses that haven't been recovered. Well, today we have a happy story for you. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, how you doing?
Terrific. Thank you so much for joining us again. And, all right, now tell us this story because we're ready for happiness.
Oh, I was ready for happiness.
I bet.
This story is the way our system should work all the time if we have enough support. And in this particular situation, we got the horse listed with us almost as soon as the owner found out the horse was missing. And that's when we're most effective. And as soon as she finished listing the horse, we sent it out to tens of thousands of people, the alert. And we got it listed into all the local news media on their Facebook pages. It was on air. It was in newspapers. I mean, we had over 70,000 people reach. I don't know exactly how that works, but it said at the bottom of one post, over 70-some thousand people reached. So, it was just amazing how much this spread because we got it right away.
Well, tell us what happened.
The horse was missing on July 3rd. The owner was called on July 3rd and told that her horse was not at the boarding facility.
Okay.
And she panicked, of course. And somebody knew about us, had her call us, and got listed with us. And then you already heard what we did. And then the next day, we were working with her on some more listings, and she called me back and said, I just got a tip on him. I think I know where he is. And I said, okay, we're on the way because I got to see this because South Carolina, where the horse was located, was only about an hour and a half away from us. Okay. So we threw all our July 4th plans away, grabbed the scanner, and took off. I don't get to see enough of this. I know they're recovered all the time because of our efforts, but being there, oh, what a treat. So Here we go. And we're talking to her on the way. We're talking to one of her friends, Jewel. And about 5 minutes out, she sent me a text and said, the officer won't let us go see Odie where he is until he proves ownership. And, we were going to, he had a microchip. Perfect. And I said, she said, but we don't have a scanner. I said, don't worry. We're 5 minutes out. We've got one. So when we got there, the police took us over to the horse first. So we were actually there before Sarah, and I thought, oh, my gosh, how neat is this? I mean, we keep telling people how it should work, and this is working the way it should. And so my husband was able to scan Odie, and then we got to call Sarah over and witness her putting her arms around him for the first time. So, I don't get enough of that.
Yeah.
Myself.
How did you, when you first got there, how did you prove to the officer that, so she gets a tip on her horse. She gets there first, right? So where the horse was.
Yeah, she was there first.
Did she call the police and the police accompanied her there? Or did they meet her there?
The police had already been there once. Because she was somewhere else. She had to go get a trailer, and then she had to go. Okay. But the police had already gone by there, and the person who had the horse and informed them that they had a stolen horse.
Okay.
And that they could not move the horse.
So then when you arrive, how do you show the law enforcement that you're an official organization? Do you have to show ID? How did that work?
Okay, well, let me back up a little bit. She got there before we did. Law enforcement came back, and they were waiting in a parking lot across the road for us. He knew we had the scanner. She had already informed him who we were and what we did, and that we had a scanner that we could scan his microchip. She gave him the microchip number. So it was just a matter of him taking my husband and myself over there and letting us do the scanning to prove the ownership. And so that was just, it was pretty simple, other than, this officer did it the right way. The horse was on private property, and you're not supposed to go on private property without an escort in these situations, a law enforcement escort.
Well, yeah, first of all, you might get yourself shot. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah.
That's a real possibility, especially in some of these situations.
Exactly.
And there was a 6-foot-high fence around this property and a 6-foot-high double gate. So I knew I wasn't going to try to get in there.
Right.
And we could see him. We could see the horse, but you can't get to it without, the proper escort.
So, and then when you scan it, it shows the number, and then that matched the number she gave the officer.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's the proof of ownership. We keep telling people that, you put microchips in for a variety of reasons. And one of them, of course, is disaster situations. Another is for runaways. But you never know when you're going to need to prove the horse is yours. You put them in and forget about them and hope that you never have to use them. And that's exactly what Sarah had done. She put that microchip in years ago. She never even thought she would have to use it. And then when she had to, there it was. Because I can tell you that, if the horse had not had a microchip, it would not have gone that smooth. And I'm not sure what she would have used to prove ownership, because if you look at him on our Facebook page or on our website, there are millions of horses that look like this horse.
Yeah, I mean, he does look like every other. It's a gray, right? He looks like every other gray horse out there.
Yeah, he is. He's a gray horse.
Yeah, exactly. Now, was the officer then, was she permitted just to take the horse at that point, or how'd that go down?
Well, as soon as the officer, we chatted with him a little bit about some different things, that are part of the investigation, so I can't talk about that.
You don't have to talk about that.
After he figured out that we were the good guys too, and saw the microchip number, he was okay with everything.
Yeah.
He was, and he called her on over and had her get her horse. And, he's hurt. As a matter of fact, he's hurt pretty bad in his hind legs. And so she didn't waste any time getting him on a trailer and to a vet hospital to be treated.
And he got hurt in the stealing process?
Yes, he did. Yeah, we're not exactly sure what the process is yet, but it could have been that whoever took him rode him 15 miles and injured him in the process, because he was about 45 minutes away on a horse ride. So there's different theories as to how he got there, and there's different stories. How he got hurt, we're not sure, but it's for sure that he is.
Now, did you ever find out, was it somebody that saw one of the flyers and went, I think I just saw that horse, or how'd that work? Do you know?
Well, those stories are varied too.
Yeah, that's usually
how that all happened. Yeah. Right now, law enforcement has the investigation. Yeah. So we're still waiting to hear how that happened. But we did get everything on Facebook with the news media. They did the story. So one story is that somebody saw a flyer. Another story is somebody saw the information on one of the Facebook pages. So we really don't know yet.
Okay.
Well, Helene and I have to say one thing. Yay! Congratulations.
Yay! And for being able to be there to see it. That's just that makes everything that you do worth it.
That, we had no idea when we took the scanner that it was going to play such an important part in getting the horse back. We just grab it because, we do. We usually have a scanner with us. But just to be there, to see this with all the recoveries that we have had, I'd say we've only actually seen about 4 over when we started this organization unofficially 16 years ago, officially in 2003, and I've only seen about 4 recoveries in all those years. So, I wasn't, hamburger wasn't that important to me. I just want our cookout. This was what I wanted to do. And my husband and I, even on the way home, said, this was the best 4th of July ever. It could not have gotten any better for us, for Sarah, or for Odie.
I got to tell you, it's ironic that we're talking right now because I'm looking out the window to my barn and the vet is here. And when I saw you last at Road to the Horse, I bought a couple do-it-yourself microchip things from you. Remember that?
I do.
And when I brought him home, my wife looked at the needles and said, "No way in hell I'm doing that myself. I'm not putting that in my horse's neck." And I looked at him and said, "I'm not doing it either." So this was the first chance the vet's been out. And so right now I'm looking out the window. They are getting their microchips put in today. So it's ironic that I'm talking to you right now. But yes, we are. Scooter has now officially been microchipped. So.
With Stolen Horse International microchips.
That's right. That is correct.
I think I need to do my horse now.
You do, especially where you live because you're along a road like that,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And don't forget the sign. Didn't you get a sign too, Glenn?
Yes, we got a sign, and I have we got the whole kit and caboodle, actually. So I'm very excited about that. Jennifer's, she's really good at filing, so we actually have the number when we need it. And, she'll go online and do the online thing, too. So.
Well, a lot of people are not comfortable with that needle, and I'm one of them. I mean, I tell people I won't stick an orange, so I'm not going to do it. But my husband does it. He doesn't have any problem with it. And I always tell people you can still get them with us and help us, because if you get them with Stolen Horse International, and we do have different frequencies and different companies that you can choose from and different packages. So if you get them through us, it helps us continue doing what we do and helps us bring horses home like Odie. And if you get them there and you can't do it, that's okay. Do what you're doing. Let the vet do it the next time he comes out.
Yeah, he was coming out to do shots anyway, so it was just another shot as far as that was concerned. And the needle isn't like enormous, but it's big enough that if you're not used to it, you're going to want to probably have your vet do it.
And it's the same needle that the Chihuahuas get. So the horses, they get a break there. It's not so big to them as it is to us.
And how much? How much are they on your website?
Well, the kit, we have one kit that's the most popular, and it has either a Home Again or an Avid microchip in it, and it's also got their registry paid for, and then it's got our Net Posse Identification Program registry paid for in it, and that's only $40. You're basically getting the microchip for free.
Yeah, it's a good deal, and it's worth $40 to have that done. And again, Helena, where you live, if your horse is, wherever your horse is, but especially along the road like that. And
in our Net Posse Identification Program registry, we're not registering just microchips. You can upload your pictures of your horses. You can change them as often if you want to. If you have freeze brands on your horses or lip tattoos, you can register those too. And since we do this, basically for a living, although I'm not getting anything out of it, that we talked about that, Glenn. Everything goes back to the organization. We're all totally volunteer. Nobody has a salary. But because we do what we do, we ask questions nobody else knows the answer because they're not doing this. It's just basic stuff. Ours is very detailed. And when you go through it, you'll see. Plus, if your horse does go missing and you're in the registry, guess what we have? All your information already, and we don't waste time trying to, wait for you to gather it together.
Well, Debbie, what is the website where they can go find their own chip with the great big needle to put in their horse?
Just go to www.netposse.com or Google Stolen Horse International and click on the store. We have all kinds of goodies in there.
Congratulations to you, to the owner of the horse, and to the horse who's now getting some medical care. Good job, and what a quick turnaround. Terrific. Well, what a good story. It's always good when you talk to Debbie and she has a happy story.
Oh, I know.
There's so many that don't turn out happy that it is nice to hear about one that is, and let's hope if they deserve prosecution, they get it too.
Yep.
So they don't steal another pony. Well, we have our Tack and Habit segment coming up next, and we have a brand new sponsor for Tack and Habit. We're proud to welcome Riding Warehouse. Well, we want to welcome right now Bree Del Rosario. Did I say that right, Bree?
You did, yeah, perfect.
Bree Del Rosario. What a neat name, Bree. That is a neat name.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks.
It rolls off the tongue.
You just like Italian girls.
Are you Italian, or is that Italian?
This one's Puerto Rican, but I have heard many people who are Italian who have the same last name spelled exactly the same way, too.
All right.
Oh, really?
Close enough.
Okay.
He likes a little spice.
I like Latin girls, too, so that's fine. Whatever.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
So you can stay, Bree. That's what it's coming down
Yeah,
to.
you can say, yeah.
Great.
You're in.
I appreciate the welcome. Awesome.
Bree, we're so excited to have you guys on board as the sponsors for the Tack and Habit segment. And once a month, Bree's going to join us and actually going to do the work for us, so we can just sit back and relax and introduce a new product for us. And we're very excited about that. But first, I know you're from California, and I know a little bit about you. Went to Cal Poly, didn't you?
I did go to Cal Poly. Yeah, that's correct. In San Luis Obispo, right on the Central Coast.
How cool is that? I mean, does that sound like the most romantic college ever?
I know. I love that name.
Oh, yeah.
I can never say the name. So anybody that can say it and that has been there, you know,
yeah.
I'll just like get down on my knees and worship your feet. What did you do there? How did you end up there? You grew up there, though, like in the general area.
No, I grew up in San Diego County, actually, in a very, very, very small town called Humul, California.
Okay, when I say the area, I mean anything west of the Mississippi.
Yes, so we're local.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, and I just, researched colleges when I was in high school and found Cal Poly and really liked the agricultural programs. Always been really into horses and animals. Yeah, and of course, near the beach, about 5 minutes away, so that's very convenient. So went there as an ag business major, and I've been here now, never moved out, been here for 10 years, so got the degree and stuck around.
Helena, I don't think that's too far from Monty Roberts' place, is it, Bree?
No, we're actually only about an hour, probably a little over an hour north of Monty Roberts. He's out in Santa Ynez. So, and beautiful, beautiful place he has right in the middle of wine country. Just couldn't imagine a better place to have a bunch of horses out there.
Yeah, his daughter, Debbie Laux, does a horsemanship radio show here on the network. So she's always talking about how pretty and beautiful it is there, bragging.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you ever get the chance to visit, it's definitely great. Do a little wine tasting, do a little horseback riding, a little beach trip. You'd be perfect.
Now, you didn't stop there. Apparently, a horse girl decided that she also needed a master's degree. So where'd you get that?
Well, I did leave for a brief period for 2 years. I went to New Mexico State, which is in Las Cruces, New Mexico. My parents, when I graduated high school, they retired and moved from San Diego County out to a little town called Gila, New Mexico. And I was missing them after being in school here and getting my degree. So I went out to Las Cruces and got my master's in agricultural education. And so I was near them for a couple of years. So that was really nice to be close and experience a different state. It was the first time I had lived longer than a very short period out of state. So it was a really good experience. Definitely a lot of opportunity to ride, and had my horse right at the rodeo grounds, right at the college. So it was a really nice place for a horse person to go to school. Both colleges were fantastic for anybody with an interest in horses.
And then Helena, she took those degrees, threw them out the window, and went to work as a buyer for Riding Warehouse.
Like a true American does.
Yeah, like a true horse girl does.
No, that's not,
that's not
there's
true.
There's a connection there. Eventually we all come back to the link. But before we talk about your current career, I want to, the question I want to ask you is, what were you thinking? And I mean this in a good way. What was your intent when you pursued that line of education? What were you hoping for?
Well, I was considering for a period of time being an agricultural high school teacher, and I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with that, but ag education is phenomenal. It's linked with FFA. The issue that I had was the amount of effort. I mean, I can't say more amazing things about our ag teachers in the United States. They work 2 jobs in one. It really truly is 2 jobs. I mean, the classroom is a full-time job in itself, and then after school they're doing constant meetings and weighing animals, and then they work during the summers. So it was a lot of work. I student taught in New Mexico in the town that my parents actually live in, so I got to live home for a few months and did some student teaching there, and it was so fun. Going out and clipping the animals and getting ready for the shows was a great opportunity and a great experience. But I was definitely a bit overwhelmed. So that's why you do the student teaching, so you can see if it's for you or not. And my fear was, if I go into student teaching, I'll never have a family of my own, because when you go home and you've been surrounded by kids all day, you definitely probably don't want to come home to them. And being that I did want to have a family and wanted to still like kids after I got off of work, I decided it was better left as a hobby rather than a career. So that was the intent there. But it was still, I can't say more good things about the ag teachers. They really sacrifice their entire life really for the kids. And it's an extremely noble profession, and I truly admire them, especially after being in their shoes.
I like to hear this. I mean, I think that's a really good plug for the career path. And especially in our country, when we really need more farmers and more agricultural specialists, considering what's happening with our food and our animals and all that. So I think the more kids who grow up with a solid education in the basics of what it means to create food and to create sustainable environments, the better. So I'm glad that we got that little plug in for the path, the career path.
Oh yeah, agriculture. There's not a better profession to kind of pursue. It's and like you said, we definitely need it, and we need it more than ever, especially with technology is really coming up. So we need those kids that are both technologically savvy, and then they can bring that into the agricultural market to kind of keep up with the times. And so that's kind of what I saw when I was there. I was really encouraged by the amount of kids that were so brilliant, and they were really going to take agriculture to the next step. And hopefully we can, keep up with the demand here and keep everything, within the United States would be great, and as much as possible. And so I think that we definitely are on the right path, and as many kids as we can get through those, avenues is the better.
Well, Bree, I can tell you one thing: Riding Warehouse is lucky to have you. So
indeed,
yeah.
Well,
indeed.
So that's
Thank you.
good. Well, tell us about Riding Warehouse. I mean, you guys are out there in California. What town?
We are in San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
There it is again.
So we've got, we're in.
Say it one more time.
3 words. It's 3 words. So San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
And it's a fantastic town. We've got great weather all year round. Actually, a little too light on the rain side here sometimes, but it's a great place to have horses. We've got a lot of beaches that allow horseback riders on them, so a lot of our local customers, they get to go on beach rides every weekend, so it's pretty much a horse owner's dream here. And we have a little retail store as well, so we're not just online. We've got a retail store in San Luis Obispo, so that caters to our local customers, and we do get a lot of tourists here as well. So anybody coming up from down in Southern California or from the valley like Bakersfield or Fresno, they'll come out here often to kind of cool down. And so a lot of them will stop by and see us, and from Northern California as well. So if anybody's ever in the area, we definitely have a retail storefront. The rest of our business is online, so the website's easy to remember. It's just ridingwarehouse.com. And it started actually as a company called Long Riders Gear in 1996 with the original owner, and she's still the owner of Riding Warehouse now. And so it's been around for a long time as Long Riders Gear. And the owner was really into endurance riding. So she wanted to supply endurance riders with all the equipment and apparel and stable supplies that they would need. So it started out strictly endurance and just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And eventually, almost 2 years ago, it'll be 2 years this November, we merged with a company called Sports Warehouse, which is affiliated with Tennis Warehouse and Running Warehouse, and about 8 or 9 other companies that are all online and have retail stores here in San Luis Obispo. Everything's local. So she partnered with the owners of Sports Warehouse, and we created Riding Warehouse. And with that change, we did something a little bit unusual. And so our website, ridingwarehouse.com, is threefold. It actually has 3 separate websites within one. So if you're an endurance rider, you would go to the endurance section of the website, and all of the products are catered to you as an endurance rider. We also have, of course, the stable supplies, which are pretty much universal throughout the 3 websites. We also have a Western-specific website, so that caters specifically to our Western customer. And we have an English-specific website, which caters just to the English riders. So it's really nice because you're going to a website and you can really cater it to your needs. You don't have to kind of filter through products that you're not going to be interested in. Or many of our, especially our endurance riders, a lot of them wear many hats, and they also ride Western or English or both. So they can toggle between the 3 websites very easily. There's 3 buttons at the top of our website. It's very easy to toggle through the 3 and get everything that you need. It goes all into one cart, ships all out of one location. But it's just a nice way. It makes it really easy for our customers to shop for exactly what they're looking for without having to kind of go through everything. So it's a fantastic website. I mean, I am biased, but I think it's beautifully done. We try to have the latest and greatest everything. We've got everything from tack to apparel to footwear, horse blankets, all the stable supplies you need. We've got quite a large inventory here in our warehouse. So we try to keep up with the times and have the latest and greatest products, which one of those I'll talk to you about shortly. But we're definitely trying to get out there as your kind of one-stop online tack shop is our little motto. So that's what we're trying to do, is just have everything you need in one location. And what I love about Riding Warehouse is customer service is our number one. And if you read some of the reviews, we have a Facebook page. You can go on there. People love our customer service. When you call, you talk to a person every single time. You do not get a recording. All of our employees have horse experience, and they ride in various disciplines. So you could probably talk to somebody who rides in the discipline that you do, which is really convenient. We also offer free shipping for orders over $50 within the contiguous United States. So it's very easy to get to $50 when we're talking about shopping for horses. So free shipping there, and another bonus, free return shipping within the contiguous U.S. So if you have an item and you want to try it on, it does not fit, you need another size, return it, and you can ship it back for free, and then we'll ship you the exchange item for free as well, as long as you're in the contiguous U.S.
Oh,
so
wow.
I really did
beat
not.
that.
We can't have her on ever again, Glenn.
No.
I feel a problem brewing.
Yes, I
Like
do.
a big problem brewing.
I have to make sure Jennifer, my wife, doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, no
because-
kidding.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
it's so
I'm
nice.
spending more money on my pony now than she is on her horse. So I've just been looking kind of at the pony stuff while I've been in here.
Yeah, you have been awfully quiet.
Just
Perfect. Yeah, we
just
try to make it really
wondering.
easy. We set aside, we have like a pony, mini, foal, and draft section, so it has
I
everything
found
in
it.
there. Yeah, and so we try to make it really easy to find everything, and I feel like our website's really well organized, and we've had nothing but great comments, and if we ever get any constructive criticism, we definitely use that and just continue to make this bigger and better, and it's a fantastic company to work for, and like I said, what I love the most is just the customer service is fantastic. It's extremely organized. Your order ships if you place the order before 2 p.m., and that's Pacific Standard Time. So actually, you guys on the East Coast have till 5 p.m. on a regular business day. It will go out same day, which is pretty unheard of. So it's very efficient. We've gotten great feedback, and I can't say better things about our department downstairs. So.
You're a good spokesman, Bree, and you're I tell you what, this is Enthusiasm Day. Every guest we've had has been overly enthusiastic today, and that's terrific. We like that. So tell us,
Good.
let's get that's and it's writingwarehouse.com is the website, but let's talk about your first product you want to bring to the table, and it's one that Helene and I have never heard of. So tell us about it.
Okay, great. Great. Well, it actually was developed originally in the cycling world, and it's actually spread out to any sport that involves a helmet. So it's perfect for the riding world. It's called Ice Dot, and ICE standing for the in case of emergency. So sometimes in your cell phone, you'll write ICE and then put your in case of emergency contacts. So that's what the ICE stands for. And basically, it's a crash sensor that can be applied to any helmet. With the exception, I would think, of like the velvet helmets because it sticks with a really, really strong adhesive, but I don't think it would stick to velvet very well. So any helmet that's not velvet, you can stick it on, and basically it will detect a crash. So if you hit your head, if you have a fall, it does a few different things. So the first thing you do when you get the crash sensor, which is really reasonably priced, we've got it selling right now for $129.95. MSRP is for $149. And basically the first thing you do is you set up your account. So you go to the website and you set up an account, and with the purchase of the sensor, you get 1 year free membership with IceDot. And then the other years after that, it's only $10. So a year. So that's really reasonable when we're talking about safety. You set up your account, you set up any allergies, anything that you need, maybe a first responder to know. And again, when you purchase the sensor, that's totally free. So it's really easy to set up. Then you simply apply the sensor onto your helmet. It comes with all the adhesive you need. And then it also has some stickers. You have a pin, and so you can put the sticker on your helmet or on your person. We always encourage you to have everything on your person so that if you get separated from your horse in the event of a fall, everything is on you. If somebody runs across you, they'll see your pin, and there's instructions of where to call, where to text your pin so you can get any information that you need. But what I really love is if you're out riding, even if you're in an arena and you're at your own house and nobody's around, or if you're out riding on the trail by yourself, if you fall, when you set up your account, you've set up some phone numbers that are emergency contacts. So say you take a fall, you set the amount of time that you need. So say you want to shut off the sensor because the sensor is going to go off when you fall right away. And if you're fine, then you want to shut off the sensor. If the sensor is not shut off within the amount of time that you specified, between 0 and 2 minutes, then it sends a text message out to your emergency contacts with your GPS coordinates. So it's really, really a great safety device. So if you take a fall, you don't want to risk, $129.95 for your safety if you're out riding by yourself anywhere. You definitely want to make sure that you've got this product. I definitely wouldn't go out by myself without this now that I know that this exists. It's going to send a text message out to all your contacts. They're going to know exactly where you are, and it's going to say exactly what you need to do. They can get to you. They can call 911, whatever they need to do. It will not call 911 for you because 911 doesn't take automated calls. So that is one thing to keep in mind. But it's super, super important that we're safe out on the trail when you're by yourself. And again, you want to make sure that everything, including your phone, is on your person, all of your emergency stickers. So that's really important. Not only will it detect a head impact, but it also detects rotational falls, so that's helpful as well. So if you're really flying through the air, even if you don't hit your head necessarily, it will also go off. So it's a fantastic product. You do need to have an iPhone 4S or later, or an Android Nexus 4 or 5, or an Android phone that's running 4.3 or later. At this time, it's not available for the Samsung phones. However, they're working on that. So it should be available for Samsung, I would think, in the future. So last I talked to them, they were working on it.
Because it actually ties in. You have to have your phone with you, and it ties into your phone's Bluetooth, right?
It does. It goes through an app, and you have to have your Bluetooth enabled, so it goes through that. And you do need to be in service.
I was going to say, what happens if you're out in the middle of nowhere, like where you lived in New Mexico?
Exactly. So in that case, you need to ride with a buddy, I would say. I think that would be probably the most important thing to do, or at the very least, tell people where you're going and when you expect to be back. So very important.
I'm thinking
but
about
for-
this for my wife who rides. She goes out in 2-3 hour rides around here into the woods and stuff, and alone all the time, every day.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
too.
Oh, that's scary.
I do too.
And
So-
I'm thinking, if she ever got hurt out there, I wouldn't know where she is. I
Right.
wouldn't know where to look. Because
Definitely.
I haven't been out there. I don't ride. I drive, and I can't take my cart out to where she goes. So I have literally never been to the places she goes.
Oh yeah, that's
yes.
scary because every minute counts in an emergency. And with this situation, not only will you know where she is, but you're going to get a text as soon as the incident happens. But I do love that they allow you to set the amount of time where you can shut it off because
Yes.
there are things that happen, and you're fine. And so, say your horse just spins and you take a minor fall and it goes off, then you specify the amount of time. So if you don't want any time, you can set it to 0 seconds. You can set it all the way up to 2
Now
minutes.
it'll go off if let's take that scenario. Your horse just ducks out from underneath you and you end up on your butt. It'll go off then, even if you don't hit your head.
Well, it depends. It's triggered based on head. If you have, some sort of a, what am I trying to say? If you have a rotational fall, it will also go off. If the forces are enough, it's not an exact logarithm. So I'm not sure exactly, how how much force you exactly need. But in some rotational falls, it will also go off. So you don't necessarily need to hit your head. And then if you do hit your head, then it will also go off. So there may be a situation where you do have a rotational fall. Say you're really lucky and you land on your feet and you're fine, or you just take a minor fall and you're not hurt. And then you have the opportunity when the countdown begins to kind of shut that off, so it doesn't scare all of your family members that you've been put in.
If you fall on your butt or you break your leg on the way down and it doesn't go off, you just take your helmet off and beat it on a tree, and then
There
it will
you
go
go.
off.
That's brilliant.
Exactly.
It's right.
Brilliant.
That's right. You still have one good arm left after you've broken the other one. You just take your helmet off and smack it on the ground, and then
Or you
you're
can
good
just
to go.
you can stand in your barnyard and go, ow. That works. I can say that
Exactly.
works.
Or you can just take out your phone, which you have on your person. Again,
Yes,
do not
you
put it in
can
your
call
saddlebag.
somebody.
Yeah, but if anybody gets anything out of this, we always tell all our customers, do not put your cell phone in your saddlebag. What happens if your horse takes off? You have nothing.
Exactly.
So
Right.
Yeah.
always have it on. We have lots of packs on our website. They attach to your arm. They, the ones that you see people working out in. We've got ones specifically for cell phones.
I'm surprised the number of people I see it attached to their saddle.
Oh, it's not a
there's
good
lot.
idea.
And even if you fall off and your horse stays, if you hurt yourself or your leg, you can't get up to the saddle to get it. So,
Oh, definitely. That's a good
still
point.
that. Well, this can be found at ridingwarehouse.com. It's called the ICE crash sensor, and you can find it there, and we'll post a link to it on our show notes at stablescoop.com as well. This is a terrific first product. Bree, you did a great job. Yay, good job.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you can come back. We'll let you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You're
I appreciate
Thanks a
it
lot.
because of that Latin blood.
It is. It is.
Yes.
It's that last name, Del Rosario. All right. Thank you, Bree.
I love her.
I know. She's great. I'm looking forward to having her on once a month. That'll be a lot of fun.
I need to not log on to Riding Warehouse.
They do have some different stuff because they're really were started out in the endurance and the long distance trail riding market, and so they have some things like this that you don't see a lot of times on other websites.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat.
And it sounds like they make it really easy to buy
Yes.
things.
Yes, exactly. And the prices are really good on their website as well. So I know that Jennifer was looking at it going, wow, these are really good prices. So if you want good products at good prices, check out ridingwarehouse.com. We thank them for their support. Well, that's it for this week. We've had 3 terrific guests, overly enthusiastic, wonderful guests, which we're happy to have. That sure beats the guests where Helena and I have to do all the talking. We like that.
Yeah.
Because we like pretty much to show up and not do anything.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of people we are. And don't forget, also in August, we're going to have our live show because it's going to be our 6th year anniversary. We're going to work out the date. I'm going to get that over to you in the next week or so here, Helena.
Okay.
So we can get that date worked out. It'll be in the evening, and we'll just all hang out together. We'll hope to take lots of calls and just chat with our listeners and have a party. We're calling it our live party. And guarantee you, Helene and I will have alcoholic beverages, so we expect you to, too.
What do you mean?
And
I'm going to have coffee.
We're just going to celebrate. We're just going to celebrate 6 years on the air and 6 years spending it with you all. And we really appreciate you being here.
Indeed.
So that's coming up in August. We'll let you know the date so you can plan ahead and plan on giving us a call. We want to hear from you. That's it for this week. Go to our website, stablescoop.com, for all the past episodes, all 6 years worth. You can find Helena at...
And you can find me at sparkleandboom.com.
Sparkleandboom.com.
Find your sparkle, get some boom.
And get our app. Just go to the App Store, iOS or Android, search for Horse Radio Network. It's free and it's easy to use. And I have run out of steam. We'll see you, Helena.
Take care. Till then, happy scooping.